Hey everyone, welcome back to the AI for Beginners series. In the last video, we set up Python and VS Code and wrote our first mini AI-inspired program. Today's episode is super important. We'll learn two core Python libraries, NumPy for numerical computing and Pandas for handling data. These are the backbone of every AI or machine learning project. So let's dive in. First, let's create a new file for this lesson. Just click on this icon and write a file name with extension .py. So I'm gonna write episode 3.py. Inside the file, we are going to import NumPy and Pandas. NumPy is short for numerical Python. It is used for fast numerical operations, array manipulation, and linear algebra, all of which are used heavily in AI models. We are now going to create a Python list called numbers and then convert it into arrays using NumPy. So numbers equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to name our array, and using NumPy we are going to convert numbers into arrays. Let's print both to the screen. So we'll write print. Let's save and run it. And we got our list and array. Arrays in NumPy are way faster and more efficient than normal lists. Let's do some math operations on array. First we added 5, then multiplied it by 2 and then printed the square of the array. Let's first see the output. See that NumPy applies operations to all elements at once. No loops needed. This is called vectorization and it's a core concept in AI math. Now in this mini program, we created a random data and then used our max, min, mean and standard functions. These stats are things we'll often use to understand our dataset. Reshaping is crucial when preparing input data for AI models. For example, converting 2D data into 1D vectors for neural networks. For that, we use our reshape function. So this was our random array, and in this random array, we printed our maximum, minimum, mean and standard deviation values. Then we used reshape function to reshape our array. First it was 3 cross 4 array and then it became 4 cross 3 array. Now let's move on to pandas. This library is just like Excel for pandas, but way more powerful. It helps us handle tabular data like CSV files or datasets. First, we will create a dataset. For example, data here. Then to create a data frame, we give it a name and then use pandas and type data frame. Inside the bracket, we write our dataset. Let's just print it to the screen. A data frame is just like a table. It has rows and columns. Think of it as your dataset before training an AI model. We can also access data from a data frame using functions like head, describe, or if we want to, let's say, access a column, we can also access it. Let me show you how. For example, let's say we want to access the first two rows. We will write the name of our data frame, that is df here, and then using the head function we can access that. So for first two rows we'll write 2. The head method shows sample data. We can also access a particular column. Let's say we want to access column name. We write the name of data frame, and then inside the square brackets we type our column name. The describe function here gives quick stats, for example mean, count, and many more. Super helpful for data understanding. Let's run this program. So we got our first two rows, then our column name, and using describe we got our stats. We got count, mean, standard deviation value, minimum value, 25%, 50%, 75%, and maximum value. Please check the spelling of column is incorrect. Okay. Moving on to next topics, filtering and condition. Filtering is used everywhere in AI processing, like removing irrelevant data or selecting specific features. Let's try doing that. So we are going to access, for example here, high score. So we'll write high scores equal to df. So we accessed our column scores. Wait a minute. Okay. So we accessed our column score, and then we are going to compare the values. The value of score should be greater than 85. Then we are going to print those scores, those students. And that's it. We can also add a new column. Let's add a new column based on a logic. Let me name that new column as past. Then in the data frame, we are going to check whether the score is greater than or equal to 80. Then we'll print our updated data frame. Let me remove all these. Now let's print our data frame. So we got students with score greater than 85. Then we updated our data frame with the new column passed here. We can also save and load data. Let's save this data to a CSV file students. For that we write df, that is name of our data frame, to CSV, and then give our file a name. So if this happens, then we are going to print data is saved. To read it back, we will create a new variable and then use dot read underscore CSV. So let's say then the name of our file. Let's print it to the screen. We don't need this. Okay. So first we got our updated data frame. Then on the terminal we got data saved to students.csv. And here you can see our file .csv. And after that we loaded that data and we got our data frame on the terminal. Let's quickly combine what we learned. We'll generate random data with NumPy and analyze it using Pandas. So I'm going to create a variable scores and using NumPy create a random data. So np.random dot randint, then pass the values. Also create names. And now I'm going to convert them into a data frame. So we are going to simply print our data frame and then use mean and max function for column score. And just like that, you have simulated data creation, analysis, and summary. Exactly what happens before training a model. And that's it for today's episode. You now know NumPy and Pandas, the two most used libraries in AI and data science. In the next video, we'll visualize data using Matplotlib and Seaborn. We'll turn your data into beautiful charts and patterns that help us understand how AI sees the world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment #NumPyMaster if you made it this far.